Welcome to the Ancient Coin Podcast with Aaron Berk, a show about ancient coins from the viewpoint of a seasoned professional with nearly 30 years' experience. Here's Aaron Berk and Mike Nodelman on the Ancient Coin Podcast.
There you go. That sound of the imaginary gong means it's time for the Ancient Coin Podcast with Aaron Berk. I'm Mike Nodelman.
I'm Aaron Berk.
There you go. And on tonight's show, we have we've got some nice auction reviews for you. We have got some interesting things for you to see and learn, and some news from the world of ancient coins, which is kind of cool. So we're all going to get it started with Aaron. And what auctions tickled your fancy this week?
Well, it's kind of like we're kind of in a weird zone at the moment. So there isn't kind of out of the auction season, but there was some interesting world sales. Like I was bidding in the Goldberg sale this week. Kunker had a big auction today, but it's mostly world coins for the most part. So it kind of falls outside the ancient realm. Goldberg had a few ancient coins, but not a whole lot. I did not see any doofuses out there that I could really, exploit for this show.
This could be like the first one without a doofus purchase.
No, we've had a few. A few. So, but
that's
I
great.
mean,
people aren't being doofuses.
That's
true.
Something
to celebrate.
That's true. I mean, there's always during auction season, there's always a possibility for a doofus, but there's just not as much going on right now. So just in general. So, it is what it is. But there is an interesting auction. We have profiled them on the show before. It's Gerhard Hirsch. They're out of Munich, Germany. They are going to have their auction in February 7th.
Yes.
And they usually have pretty interesting things. I have to say, though, that, one comment I have to make is that Hirsch doesn't always, I don't think it's their fault. I think that they can offer coins that are forgeries. It's not something that they do on purpose, but they've been known to have that issue come up occasionally, more than some other auction houses. So,
and what do you think that's due to?
It could
get sued for.
It could be a knowledge thing.
Okay.
Maybe the numismatists, they have a very good track record with a lot of auctions over the years. So, and a very old name. Mm-hmm. And so they do get a lot of collections. They may not just have the best numismatists at all times.
Nobody can know everything.
Well, I don't want to say that they don't care. I know there are some people out there that sell fakes and they just don't care.
Right.
I don't think that's the case with them. And if a coin got condemned, they would give the money back. They're, a legit company that stands behind their products. So, you can get some good deals in there. And so they're worth looking at for that reason. So the first one I thought would be cool to profile would be lot 1012. That's the Sexton's Umbrian. You got that one up?
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about these in denominations when we went through them. And basically, the Sextons, so you see the two pellets on the back?
Yeah, so what I see is maybe a stalk of wheat and two dots.
It's actually a club.
Okay, that could be nasty too.
So most likely representing Hercules.
Isn't everything?
So, yeah, pretty much club is always Hercules.
No,
and then the two pellets on the reverse, that actually is a signification of the denomination.
Okay.
So that signifies the denomination for this Aes Grave. And Aes Graves, this is early in the Republican period. This is in the 3rd century BC. They were all cast bronzes. So these were not struck. These were actually made in a mold. They were cast. It's the only coinage in all of the ancient period that is not struck. Every other ancient coin is struck except for the Aes Grave series.
Are these more difficult to authenticate because of that?
No.
Okay.
No, because they're mainly made out of bronze. and you get patina and incrustation, and you get, some oxidation. I mean, you do get layers from thousands of years. And so you can tell if there's a fake pedigree, a fake patination on the coin. You can tell based on style. So, I think bronze and silver generally are much easier than gold, because bronze and silver can show its age,
Right.
where
And
gold does not
generally
age.
won't.
Right. And gold doesn't show age. So you're basing that on the weight, and you're basing it on the style and sometimes the flow lines and things like that. Obviously, if it's a cast, you're going to see a seam. So that's a different story.
Right. But this has a seam. Does it not?
Right. Right. It does, because it's cast, but I'm talking about gold for gold.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. I'm sorry.
I'm talking
No,
about the gold.
I was just looking at the color of this coin thinking, okay, can it maybe be electrum? But no, it's bronze. So
It's bronze.
okay.
And that's just light incrustation over the coin. And so you can see the layers there. But I just love the Aes Grave period. Some of the big ones, they're huge. They're like, we call them hockey pucks. I mean, they're big. And you got hit by one of them, you're hurting.
So you weren't
No
going to be
doubt.
carrying more than one of them with you.
No, not at all. So, but this one's a smaller denomination, and these are around. They're not expensive pieces. You can see they're going to estimate this at 250 euros. I think I looked up one in Coin Archives, just brought $600, something like that. So, in this quality, I would say it's going to go for between $300 and $500, something like that. It
Okay.
shouldn't go for any more, honestly, because it's decent, but it's not great. But again, great area to collect, guys, and especially if you want the beginning of the Roman Empire, or before the Roman Empire. You want the beginning of Italy, essentially, before being run by the Roman Republic at the time, before they got to the Roman Empire. So if we go to the next lot, which I thought was interesting, so this is 1111. Mike, this is called, it looks really strange. This is actually part of the Bosporus kingdom, and
It's got a big crack in it.
it does have a crack in it. These are debased gold pieces, and the emperor, which I can never pronounce these things, is Sormates or something like that. But basically, this is in the Black Sea. So this is near Russia. A lot of these coins come out of the Black Sea region. And it's basically sometimes they're electrum, sometimes they're debased gold. And then you have Hadrian on the reverse of the coin, because these were being controlled, like basically he was like a kind of a puppet king. So he controlled his region, but Rome still reigned over them. So it's almost like it's like a Greek provincial piece under the Roman period, essentially. Now, this one was slabbed by Annex, and Mike, Annex.
Yeah, I do.
So started by the ANA, I believe 1981, something like that.
Something like that. Really, really early.
Really early.
Yes.
And I think they even started before NGC and PCGS, didn't they?
Yes. They were the first idea of it, and
Right.
the first actual, come to fruition grading service.
Are they still like run as an extension of the ANA, or are they on their own?
It's like NGC is the official grading service of the ANA now, so I don't think there is. I think that Annex still claims to use ANA standards.
Okay. Well, and they do US coins, they do world coins,
Correct.
They do a lot of different things.
They're really good at attribution. That's really their strength.
Okay. In ancient coins, they are not. Just to give most of you a clue. So before NGC, before David Vagey came on the scene with NGC was very similar to Annex. They would slab a lot of fake coins, tons of mistakes as for attributions. They just didn't know what they were doing because they didn't have a good expert, because the grading service is only as good as the expert that's actually grading the coins.
Sure.
Right. And I would say that NGC even got even better when Barry Murphy came on board. Because Barry is actually probably better than David at authenticating ancient coins, in my opinion. And for most of you guys that follow him on the Facebook groups, you'll attest to that. He's very much a student of numismatics and detecting fakes. And I would say David would even agree with me and say that he would look to Barry for a lot of recommendations on ancients. So between the two of them, they've done a really good job of bringing the standards up on NGC. They're not perfect, but they're much better than Annex is, right? Annex makes a lot of mistakes. And I've been told there is, I'm not going to mention the company because I don't want to get in trouble, but there are larger companies that when they don't get the grade or they get a non-decision from NGC on a coin and they won't slab it, they send it to Annex and Annex slabs it and then they sell it anyway. Mm-hmm. So be wary, guys, when you buy coins in Annex holders. It doesn't mean that the coin is fake, but you should really, do your due diligence and make sure that why is it in that Annex holder to begin with, when NGC standards are so much better.
And NGC doesn't guarantee its authenticity anyway.
Either does Annex.
I know. Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing. So I thought that was their primary duty was to authenticate things and grade it.
It is. But, I think that they would probably say, why should we, and we've talked about it, why should they self-insure themselves and cover things when they don't have to? No one's calling for their heads. They're still making a ton of money without having to guarantee anything. So,
question is, should they?
Well, no, but it may not be the best business move for them. It would definitely bring them a lot more. I don't know, having skin in the game changes things, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't know. It's hard to say. Well, anyway, I brought this coin up because though it's an interesting type, I believe this is a forgery. I don't think this is a real coin. This one in the Hirsch sale. The style doesn't look right to me. Their photography, I think the color's just off anyway, but it's just the way that the lines look, the way the figures look, it just looks off to me. And the fact that it was in an Annex holder even bothers me more. And so if you go to the next slide, Mike, this was one that sold about a week ago in a French auction. And you can see the difference in the metal. You can see the difference in the portraiture. Now you can have good portraiture and bad portraiture, but this one's real. I don't think the other one is real. I think it's fake. And so if you have a question and something bothers you stylistically about something, go and search other coins from that period and see what the fabric looks like and see what the style looks like. And if something is way off, it could be a problem. And for me, having in the Annex holder just kind of made it even easier.
Yeah, to me, it's like the one that is for lot 1111, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
almost looks like the guy from the Anonymous cult.
Right.
It. And this one has a much more messianic Jesus look to it.
Right.
It's just a completely different. Now, granted, they're not going to use the same die for everything, but they're not going to be this far off.
No, and to me, the crack it's like they're making it look ancient by putting the crack in.
Yeah, I think what they're doing is if that crack was not there, that coin would be nearly perfect.
Yeah, it's true. And just look at the surfaces and the fields and the way that the fields are. It just looks weird. Just everything about it. Take away the style, and the style looks bad anyway.
Right.
Based on what the other one looks like, which I know is real. The metal just doesn't look right. And it could be the photography, but something about the way the lines are, the flow lines, and you can almost see like raised lines in some of the edge. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good learning experience for us to show.
I like that.
And also teach you about, don't trust every coin in an Annex holder,
Well, I mean, for the most part, what I would say as far as ancient coins go is You can't necessarily trust anything in a holding. It's no
No,
better than raw. You have
and
to
look,
figure it out.
every 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 coin company will sell fake. No one is perfect. We've sold fakes,
Yeah.
but the point is, it doesn't. We try not to have it happen often, and we always guarantee and give the money straight back, no questions asked, especially if it's proven.
Right.
And so your reputation comes down to how do you deal with problems when they occur, and also how often does it happen. If it's happening to us every week, then people are going to, it's going to get out, and
Right.
it's going to start to, people are going to notice it. If it happens like a few times a year, that's just par for the course. We sell thousands of ancient coins, thousands, and nobody is perfect.
No. And nobody knows everything.
No, I mean, I've had coins from Triton, C&G, NAC, everybody has sold a fake at some point, one way or the other. So that's the whole point too with NGC. They're not perfect either.
Right.
And they've made mistakes. They just don't have to pay for it.
Right.
When they make
They're just
mistakes.
not guaranteeing it for that exact reason, because they just don't want to pay for it.
That's right. They don't. They just want to have their opinion, and that's it. But then they add a lot of value to coins when they, depending on how they grade them and how they star them, and that creates a push to have more coins slabbed. And so they are capitalizing off of how they grade coins, and they get the benefit when things sell high.
You have to give them credit, because they're doing their business in such a way that is creating more of a market for more business. So
100%. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that model. But it's just,
perception in the marketplace though may not be that, you're getting what you think.
Right.
I have been paying attention this whole time. It's amazing. 30 episodes. Yeah.
This is number 40, Mike.
Okay. 39 episodes I've been paying attention.
So we almost should be celebrating in some capacity. Maybe when we get to 50, that's a bigger deal. Maybe, but we don't need to toot our horn right now.
No, maybe we can get some wine from, yeah. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. If we go to the next lot, it's number 1157 in the Hirsch auction again. They had a run of these. These are Tigranes II tetradrachms. These are an Armenian king. These used to be really rare. There's a horde of these out, and they're all over the place. And so their estimate of 3,000 is ridiculous based on the now lowered price, because these things are all over the place. There was tons in the Triton sale. There's been a ton in the Roma sales. They're everywhere. And so there was obviously a large horde that came onto the market, or a collection. Probably not a collection, it's probably a horde. I don't know anything about it, other than the fact that when a rare coin or a scarce coin starts showing up everywhere, there's a new group out.
Well, I mean, and the quality of this coin is really, really nice.
A lot of them come nice. It's just, it's not a $3,000 coin anymore.
Sure.
It's now a $1,500 coin. And I think that Hirsch either doesn't know that there's a group out, hasn't been watching the market. I don't know what the case might be.
Doesn't think the market reflects it yet.
No, I mean, I can buy these in e-auctions now for $900. So, so I brought it up because it's an interesting type, but it also shows that if you start seeing scarce coins that end up showing up all over the marketplace, there's a group and they're flooding the market, and the price is going to plummet. So, you don't want to get caught up. If you paid 3,000 euros for this, you are going to be buried in it, because it doesn't matter if all the coins get absorbed. There's just that many more out there.
Yeah. I mean, you may be
that are going
buried
to continue
with
to come
it.
out. What's that?
You may be buried with it.
That's true. That's very true. And if we go to the last coin, it's number 1259. This kind of goes with the metals and the concordates that we were talking about, I think a show ago or two show. It was the Christmas episode we did. This is a coin under Augustus. And this is a tesserae. And tesseraes were basically either gaming pieces, They could have been tokens or entry. They could have been to entry into into different events. And but they weren't coins. But there's a chance that that these were used as coinage in certain cities for certain things. Maybe a ferry passage or even a brothel. And so you need to get your I don't know how to say it
Your
cleanly.
thing on?
You need to get your thing on.
Yeah.
So you need your brothel token, right?
Right.
And so these could have been made out of bronze, bone, ivory, clay, glass, wood.
That would be
So
ironic.
they could have been tickets to theater events or gladiator fights, all kinds of stuff. So it's a really cool thing. And they were based on the fact that then they usually would put an emperor's image here. It's Augustus, so it's probably around this time frame. Obviously, it could have been later. We wouldn't really have a clue necessarily. Or it would just have like a gladiator fighting on it. It might have an erotic scene on it. There are erotic tokens that are collected as well. So, in fact, somebody mentioned that to me in one of the comments on YouTube about doing something about erotic tokens, and maybe we will at some point. I have brought them up on the show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now let me ask you a question, because I've really have been burning on this one. On his head.
Yeah.
Is that a crown?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, it's so what's the word I want to use? It just looks so
Hokey, like kind of like it has I don't know, thorns or something.
Yeah, I mean it almost looks more like I don't know, like spikes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just when you're issuing a coin, it's just easier to make a crown really stand out, and this is the way they made it stand out.
Well, it's also the technology of the day and the artists of the day, and
there was great artists too.
Clearly they were good at what they did. You can recognize the faces in the sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
So to do a crown like that,
Sure.
and it's like, and it goes through several different emperors that have, that kind of crown.
Yeah. I mean, when I started with my dad, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, he said eventually the Roman emperors will start looking like friends, and you won't have to like read the legends. You'll just identify them as people you've met, because you learn what the portraiture looks like, and you can look at it and say, oh, that's Augustus. Oh, that's Otho. Right. Oh, that's Claudius. I mean, it just
well, because so many of them have Zeus on it anyway.
Zeus has nothing to do with it, brother.
No, what I'm saying is that as far as the figure I'm sorry.
You're talking about
Hercules.
gods.
Hercules. I'm sorry.
Hercules.
Hercules is on so many of them.
Yeah, and he's always bearded and always going to have his club or his lion.
Yeah, I mean, it's so it's that symbolism, goes on so many coins. That was kind of
sure.
my point.
Yeah, but as far as like, yes, gods definitely are easy to identify as well. And it's kind of the same as Roman emperors or Greek kings. It's the same deal. It's sometimes like it's very difficult with like the Parthians or Sasanians. They all look the same. And so, or even Ptolemaic bronzes. Oh my God, they all look the same. So they get really tough. So there's more symbols with that to identify them. Yeah, and we'll get into Ptolemaic bronzes maybe at some point. That'd be fun. So anyway, that's Hirsch. If you guys want to check that out, that's February 7th. Or just want to go and learn. Look at coins. Look at coins. Look at coins.
Yes. That is the answer to virtually everything.
That's right. So, Mike, that brings us to our educational section. And I thought it would be interesting, since we talked about a fake already, is our HJB Black Cabinet. Now, years ago, I did a Facebook video that I think almost has like 30,000 views at this point. And then I have it up on YouTube as well in this channel. It's only got, I think, like 3,000 views there, but I got like close to 30,000, 25 to 30,000 views on Facebook. So when I first started doing videos on Facebook, it was one of the first ones I did. And I actually went and showed our Black Cabinet. And a lot of the big old time dealers have black cabinets. Now, what is a black cabinet? A black cabinet is a cabinet where you keep your fakes. So every single coin that's been determined to be a fake or that we bought knowing that it was fake, so we could put it away, take it off the market, and put it in our drawer because we want to keep it off the market. The worst thing you can do as a dealer is to it's always best if you can get them off the market. Unfortunately, when you sell a fake, you have to return it to the person you bought it from to get your money back. And then it returns to that person, returns to that person, it goes down the line, right? But unfortunately, somebody down the line might wait 2 years and then try to resell it again. And so that's the issue. And the worst thing you can do as an auction house is to buy it in, meaning show that it had been purchased, but not really sell it. Now you have an auction record on Coin Archives or AC Search, which is a problem because then people will say
think it's legit.
Right. That's correct. That's correct. So the best thing you can do is, as a dealer, is to put them in your black cabinet and put them away forever. So, Mike, if you go to the next slide, you'll see our black cabinet, and it's an old sucker.
It is old.
It is old. And so there it is, closed and open, all the drawers. Not every single one of these drawers has a fake in it, but it's over almost 60 years worth of fakes. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see some of the trays. And there's Roman, Greek, Byzantine, Roman Republic. I think we have like 10 Eidmars in there. I think we have like 10 Syracuse decadrams in there. I mean, the most famous coins are usually faked. So
the fake Eidmars have got to be cool. You got to show
they're cool.
Sometime.
They're cool. And some fakes are not meant to fool anybody. Some are made just for collectibles. Or it could have been that a museum or somebody was creating them in source countries to give out as tourist items. So not everything is meant to fool anybody, and some of these are so bad it's obvious. Some are really good. And so I thought I did this a few years ago, and Mike, if you go to the next slide, and then if you click that link, and that will take you to an issue catalog.
Yep.
And so I did this a few years ago, and what I did is I picked out a lot of different varieties of the black cabinet pieces we have, and I had them photographed, and then created this little catalog.
Some of these will sale.
Yeah, these are not for sale. So if you'll see like the first coin 1000, that's a Roman Republican bronze, was with cast bronzes. But you can see like as you flip through these pages, Mike, you'll see like where some of the coins are so obvious based on the style that they have to be fake. And some were based on the fact that maybe the silver was the wrong weight. Because remember, gold and silver are treasury coins. They were very accurate with their weights. And if the weight is way off, underweighted or overweighted, then you know that it's most likely bad.
Yeah, they were very serious about the weight.
When it came to gold and silver especially.
Yeah.
I mean, bronze even had its own weight standard as well, but it's a little bit more forgiving in that regard. And you can have heavy specimens or light specimens. You might have a light specimen because the coin is corroded and a lot of the silver has been eaten away. And so you might have a lightweight based on the corrosion. But if you have a mint state coin and it's underweight, chances are like way underweight, like it's a full gram underweight, it's bad. So so if anybody ever wants, maybe I'll stick a link of this in I will stick a link to this in our in this
description.
In the comments and the descriptions so people can look at it. But again, a lot of these, just image wise, you can tell. Some of them you need to hold to tell. That's a problem with like having coins and slabs. You can't hold them. You can't learn from them. These you can learn from. A lot of times you pick up a coin, you're just like, no, it doesn't feel right.
It just doesn't feel right.
Doesn't feel right. And so
these are not the people I know.
Right. That sounded like from Star Wars.
I was like, these are not the droids you are looking for.
These are not the droids you're looking for. That's right. Right. So it's just, and I don't know if Mike, if you've been flipping through this or not, but it's really interesting to see all the different fakes. And this is just a small portion of what we have in our black drawers. And everybody has one. C&G has a black drawer. I'm sure NAC has a black drawer. Everybody has black drawers. So sometimes people have bought other people's black drawers. Somebody goes out of business and they say, well, I want to buy your black drawer because they don't want them to end up in the market. And we can use these as teaching objects. So if any of you guys ever come to HJB or go to some of the other organizations, ask them, hey, do you have a black drawer? Can I check it out? And then you can see what the fakes look like and you can hold them and you can learn from them. So I suggest anybody do that. Mike, if you go back to our slide presentation,
I actually have the page for the next one.
Okay. So you went to forum?
Yep.
Okay. So forum's a great place to go. They have this whole you just sign up and then I don't think it costs any money. Honestly, I think it's free. And they have a lot of like community awareness on fakes. And so there's not only collectors, but there's dealers on here. I know Barry Murphy's on here. There's a lot of dealers and authenticators on here, and they will post when a coin comes out that's fake, and you can literally go through and search the forum for all the different fakes that have come out in the last 10, 15 years and see if there's a old fake, or sometimes you have Paduets, which are 17th century fakes, which actually have value. But if it's a Paduet fake, then you can match the die and then you know that it's not an ancient struck coin. So because the Paduets were actually struck, they were just done in the Renaissance. So great place to go, great resource. I would definitely check it out.
There is even a sub forum on stolen or lost coin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a great place to go for another great place to go is Facebook. There's a lot of great Facebook groups out there on ancient coins. Find one there's one, I can't remember the name of it, but you'll find them that have like 10 or 15,000 members, and people will post like, hey, do you know if this is real? And you'll get a lot of the same people that are on forum will be on Facebook, and they'll give their comments whether they think it's real or not. So you can get a lot of good advice from the community, which brings us to our pearl of wisdom.
Yes, sir.
How do you like that tie-in, brother?
You are really getting good at this.
Or lucky. Well, I'm wearing my Superman shirt, so maybe
good.
Maybe. So our pearl of wisdom tonight is really just I think it's a good way to live our lives in general, but our community is what binds this hobby together. And so what I mean by that is we all do this together. As you look, we're all individuals. We all have our own, either you're a collector, you're a dealer, you have different aspirations for yourself. You are competing against, if you're a collector, you may be competing against another collector to buy something. But in the end, we're all here to educate each other. We're all here to help each other. And so when people start going off on their own and they don't want community outreach, I think that's where, you get disconnect. And so we're much stronger together than we are separate. And yeah, I'm not trying to be like, hey, we're all going to go to the Grateful Dead concert and dance with each other with our shoes and socks off. But at the same time, there's a time when we should come together, whether it's to vet a coin, because it's not just NGC, it's the whole community, right? Even if I get a coin back from NGC that they say is fake, I'm going to go check it out. I'm not going to just take their word for it.
Well, even
I'm
if
going to go,
the old rule of journalism is, even if your mother tells you she loves you, check a second source.
That's right. So I always tell somebody when they say, oh, NGC condemned this coin that I bought from somebody else or myself or whatever, I say, send it back and we'll get it checked out, because I'm not going to just take their word for it. Right. And it's not that I'm trying to get out of not giving a refund or if they bought it somewhere else, and I'm not trying to, screw another dealer or auction house. I just want to make sure that the way it was always done before slabbing got to where it is now is that it was a vetting process. You would go to a show, you would say, you walk around to the tables, or you send a pic. Now you can send pictures to people, or you can send the coins to them and say, what do you think of this? You can go to different people we respect that are respected in the industry, get their opinion. And if enough people vet it and say, yeah, it's bad, then, you're like, okay, or hey, there's evidence that that's a cast and here's the host coin. Okay, now we have an actual reason, because you all know when you get a coin back from IGC that they say is bad, they don't give you the reason. Now you can talk to Barry or David, and sometimes they will let you know, but that's not exactly how they present it when they return it to you. They don't have to tell you why they condemn it.
Right. They just condemn it.
And it's the same thing in US coins. It's the same thing in world coins. I mean, we just got a coin back, US coin, a chain cent that somebody owns, and NGC wouldn't slab it. Not that it was real. It just had been tinkered with too much, and they didn't want to slab it. But they didn't come out and give all the reasons why. They just said not slabbable. So
right.
And they don't have to.
I think that they were trying to be polite.
They were trying to be polite. Okay,
yes.
Fair enough. And so whether we're betting coins together, we're sharing our knowledge together, and or just helping each other out. Like I had a collector recently who's local. He had me look at a coin on MA shops for him yesterday, and he said, "Can you buy it for me, and I'll pay you commission?" And the coin was like a few $100s, and so I mean, what am I going to charge him? Like $5?
Yeah.
And so I just said, I got like $70 off the coin for him. And I said, just pay me what I paid, and then pay the extra shipping that I have to ship you the coin. And I'm not going to charge you. And he's like, how do you make money? I'm just like, well, every once in a while I try to do something nice.
Yeah.
So that's a community builder.
The first one's always free. So
no, it's not.
Yeah, no, not really. So no, I have to say that, I do a lot of community outreach within the US coin community. There are a lot of people that I have knocked on their door, I've rung their phone, and to me it is a big, really important thing that strength is in diversity. Strength is in more people being involved and more people having input. And when you get people to think outside of the box, that's when you sometimes can figure out these problems. When you use conventional wisdom, you're going to get conventional outcomes. So right. Sometimes I like to throw a curveball at stuff, and it just kind of helps me with that. And right. So as a U.S. coin community, we're very interlocked. There's a lot of us on YouTube that do different podcasts. We do different, some people do YouTube channels and things like that. We all kind of feed off each other. And it's really cool to do that, and it's really cool to have that. This is a shameless plug. This Saturday, we're doing Coin Show Hangout, and Aaron Berk will be participating and enjoying. So you can find that at the Coin Show podcast page, and that will be this Saturday night live. You can come and ask questions. You can come and root Aaron on or antagonize him or do whatever you like.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
So this is a great opportunity to mention there's another ancient coin podcast, not ours, that just came on the scene. They just posted their first podcast last night. It's called the Ancient Coin Hour, and it's run by three very nice guys. Tyler Rossi, Joshua, I forget I can never pronounce his last name. He's an opera singer, very nice collector, and one other guy and Dean Kinzer is the other one, and so and they were worried that I'd be upset, and I'm like, no, guys. I'm like, competition and putting content out is good for the community.
Yes, more content is a good thing. Period.
It completely is.
Full stop.
And we do this because it's fun, and we're trying to. This is us giving back to the community, right? And so, if everybody wanted to put out content for all us to learn together, that's a good thing, in my opinion. And so, I hope they do really well. And
as
if
long
you guys
as the information is accurate, other opinions are always good and always welcome.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And we wish them luck, and we don't really view it as competition. We just view it as another voice in the crowd. That's welcome aboard.
Yeah, there's a ton of like people on YouTube and that have like 100,000 followers, that like do Roman history. There's like Told in Stone, who I've done some videos with. He's got an amazing following on YouTube. He has like 500,000 followers or something like that.
Well, he's a great storyteller, and his graphics are awesome and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and he's a PhD in history and smart guy, but he's got a different angle, right? He's teaching the history part of things, right? And sometimes he mentions coins. A lot of times it's just history.
Right.
And so we all have our different, like I have 31 years of experience that I'm bringing to this show, which is going to be different than what those guys are doing on their podcast, which is different than what a PhD brings to the table. I'm talking about history. We all have different experiences and different ways of looking at things and different perspectives. And that is what makes the community and the hobby stronger. And so
a really good example,
that's a beautiful thing.
A really good example of that is there's another YouTube channel out there that is called Useful Charts. And he talks about all kinds of different things in history, and he charts them all out. Now, one of the charts that he has is the ancient emperor's family tree, which I really like. I have a copy of the chart.
Oh, he does his posters. He does the posters, right?
He's the one that does the posters. And if you go to his site, it's, I think, usefulcharts.com. But if you look at his posters and if you use the code BERK, you'll get a discount on the price of the posters. Yeah, I really like the,
and we don't get any profit.
Nothing. It's just
nothing.
I asked the guy, I said, hey, look, it's like we run an ancient coin podcast. People might be interested in this one specific chart, and it's the ancient emperor's family tree. And I would really recommend that you go there, even if he doesn't discount it. It's $20. And it's like, you've seen this poster. It's big.
It's cool.
And it's really cool. And it has a lot of information in it. So
yeah. So anyway, community, guys, this is what makes this hobby wonderful, and so even like when I'm bidding in auctions, and I know a lot of the collectors around the world, and they're messaging me, it's fun. Like today I was bidding in the Kunker sale for a client of mine. It was on a world coin, not an ancient coin, and I didn't win the lot, and I immediately got a text message from Ulrich Kunker saying thanks a lot for supporting during the auction. And I was cool. I'm like, hey, that was really nice of you to say that, so this is what I really love about this community, and the fact that there are a lot of really good people that are there, and this in the end, it's a hobby. It's supposed to be fun, right? We're not supposed to be like mad at each other and stabbing each other in the back. It's just like, that's not the way it should be. And so that's why I do this. That's why Mike does this. And that's why a lot of us are here. And so anyway, I'm really proud to be part of this community. And I love how this community is going. I love the coin industry as a whole and how it's actually changed gears from a few years ago when everybody thought that everybody was aging out of this hobby. I am so excited to see the young people that are involved in the industry now. It gives me a lot of hope for the industry that I didn't have 10 years ago.
Well, the rise of social media has really helped to, yes, it's splintered things even further than what it is, but through that, it has allowed people that really care to do something good for the sake of doing something good.
It's given a platform for ancient coins, for all coins for that matter. Goofy personalities like myself have a place now, and you too, absolutely. So it's as an old friend used to say to me, it's a beautiful thing.
I agree.
So number 40 in the books, Mike?
I believe so. That's 40. And we've been doing this how long?
What is it? A year and a half?
Yeah, a little bit over a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good. So
we start off February with a bang and a new episode.
We did.
And so we'd like to thank everybody that tuned in and everybody that listens. We really appreciate what you do for us. And if you have questions, our email addresses are right down here underneath us. You're welcome to do that. join me and Aaron this weekend on Saturday, live on YouTube at the Coin Show Hangout. Just search Coin Show, and trust me, you'll find us. I have some winners for our secret contest. They may not have exactly won, but they close enough, and they're going to get a prize, and I think they're going to be pretty happy with it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's pretty much all I've got. You got anything,
Yeah.
Aaron?
No, just thanks, guys, for all the support. And please follow this YouTube channel so we can get our numbers up, but also you'll be notified every time we do post, because that's people are notified immediately when we post to YouTube. So it's a good thing to do. Yeah, exactly.
You'll be notified for everyone. Thanks a lot for watching, and check out the other guys too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk to you next time on the Ancient Coin Podcast with Aaron Berk.
Thanks for listening to the Ancient Coin Podcast with Aaron Berk. We'll return with another episode soon. Meantime, you can join our private group on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com and search the Groups tab for Ancient Coin Podcast Discussion Group and ask to join. There you can become part of our community, where we share and discuss ancient coins, as well as the show, the ancient coin market, auctions, or just to give our own opinions on things in order to learn together. Join Aaron and Mike again soon for the next episode of the Ancient Coin Podcast with Aaron Berk.